Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Witch Hat Atelier episode 5. So close to halfway through already. How the time flies, right? Episode 5, in which our witches will have to make it out of a labyrinth inside of some weird ass pocket space where they are currently trapped with a dragon and a brimmed hat witch. That's basically what's gonna happen. I don't know if they are going to escape within that single episode, or is it something that's going to span a couple more. We'll see. Brush Buddy and Qifrey are on the way to save them, so maybe they're gonna get out with their help. What happened in the previous episode? Well, Coco was having trouble drawing her magic, and Qifrey noticed that, hey, this is just my my old pen that I gave you because you don't have one of yours, so maybe it just doesn't fit you, right? Maybe it's too heavy, maybe it's too light, maybe it's not long enough, maybe it's too long. Everybody has their own preferences, right? And so they set off to Ollivander's, essentially, where they will get Coco, well, not a whole set of stationery, but at least a pen and maybe some magic ink while they're there. As it turns out, magic ink is made of a weird tree disease thing, where a silver tree, the branches of a silver tree die off, turn black, that weird black rot spreads, and so removing those branches is good for the tree, and we can use those branches and the black sap to create like proto ink that is then further refined into the actual ink that the witches use. It's certainly interesting that the source of ink is rot, decay, disease, death, right? It's not like the sap of the living tree or the leaves that it sheds that get burned and the ash is turned into ink or anything like that. No, it's specifically dead, rotting branches. I wonder if there is any deeper symbolism to that. I guess we'll see over time. And the wood of the tree is also being turned into pens. So they are at Ollivander's, they're looking around, perusing, and Coco notices the brim hat who gave her the book. She gives chase, of course. Tetia and Riche, of course, also give chase after Coco without notifying Qifrey, because why? Why would anybody need to tell that to Qifrey, right? There is no need to notify him. Why would you do that? I mean, Qifrey is not without fault. He was bumbling about doing who the fuck knows what instead of watching for his apprentices. So he's definitely not without fault. They run into Agot, dragged Agot with them. And eventually they run into a... there was that cool scene, first of all, where there was a dark alley and a light alley, and the brim hat turned into the black alley, and Coco was standing there on the crossroads for a moment, looking, darkness, light, and went towards the darkness. I feel like that's symbolic. And they got caught into a pocket dimension, essentially, by the brim hat. Some weird labyrinth with a dragon chasing after them, and Coco saw a magic circle inscribed on a tower, probably inscribed by the brim hat because brim hat was watching them. And Coco definitely felt like she's fucking everything up, right? Because first of all, she ran and got everybody into this whole situation. Then she talked to Agot as Agot was drawing something and fucked up the drawing because of that. So Coco is definitely feeling low right now. Riche is feeling Riche. Tetia went through a little bit of a mental breakdown when she thought that she's going to die without leaving any legacy to this world, which is an interesting characteristic of her. And Agot is being Agot. And she's also being the, maybe not the responsible one necessarily, but she's kind of like taken the lead a little bit, right? Like, stay still, looking at the dragon, slowly back up. When I tell you to run, you run, right? Like this kind of deal. And they're gonna have to deal with that dragon. Something tells me that Coco is going to use the magic circle that the Brim Hat drew, and that it is going to defeat the dragon. Alternatively, she will be on the verge of using it, but it's gonna turn out that she doesn't have to, because either Qifrey arrives and helps them, or maybe the other girls manage to take the dragon down. I don't know. But those are like the two possibilities. We know that Coco is willing to consider using forbidden magic, right? She considered drawing magic on her own body. She might consider using this clearly forbidden magic circle. Maybe she won't. Maybe she won't, but it is under her consideration, and I do have a feeling that she will eventually break. And my nose is clogged for some reason. Yeah, that's what happened in the previous episode. So how about we watch this one and see what's gonna happen next, shall we? To do that, you're gonna need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and the cable is, of course, oh, wrong way, tangled. There we go, that's better. And I'm gonna need your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, because nothing helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching Witch Hat Atelier episode 5 in 3, 2, 1, go. Whoa, loud. Straight into action. Oh, and if you want to watch this episode with picture-in-picture, not with the subs, Patreon, that version's gonna be there shortly after this one's up on YouTube. Running in circles, eh? Of course not. Who would be Daijobu in this situation? Yeah. uh, her way of making it up, I guess. Hmm. What's that? What? I have no clue. Oh, she can just create clouds like that. Wait. She didn't use a circle. Excusez-moi? Huh. Hmm. Right. Where'd you have the circle, though? Okay, fair. Of course. Fair. A very good question. Okay, so it's a non-Euclidean space. Yeah, on the tower. Hmm. Can't you, like, destroy the seal remotely? I mean, it really didn't. Yeah, it scared it maybe, but, you know. Water? Okay, we sneak past it? Or do we do, like, long range magic to just destroy the spell from a distance? I think my camera's a little too dark. Whoa, no. They're going to put the dragon to sleep? What? That's better. Mm, no. Yeah, I really don't think that would work. I really don't think that would work. Huh? You're worrying about the dragon? Oh, are you trying to do the thing where the protagonist takes like a thorn out of the palm of a beast and the beast becomes friendly? Sure. Sure. That's a big if, though. Good point. I mean, commendable point, but I don't know how realistic of a point. True. Ah, the blush. No glomp. No glomps for you, Coco. The stone you're sitting on? Yeah, you don't have much paper. Sure. Sasugato. Wouldn't it be more efficient to draw them on the wall itself to spare paper? Yeah, I mean, that's true. Harshly put, for sure, but true. Gonna copy her technique? Right, you give it a couple of tries. Yeah, I mean, makes sense. Hmm. You've just been going at it. Interesting that neither Qifrey nor anybody else, like, shared that technique with her. Right? Like, when you teach children how to draw, you start by showing them how to hold the pen, right? And how to use it, and how to draw letters on the lines, right? You start with that. Is Coco gonna come up with something? Hey, she made fire! Yeah, and it's stable. Exactly. Oh, idea. It's like fucking House visiting Wilson's cabinet. Cabinet? Gabinet is in Polish. Wilson's office. And suddenly getting an idea. Okay, what's the plan? Okay, they're splitting to like start creating the cloud of dust from multiple different points. Gotcha. I love the music. And lots of dust. There's a lot of those like sliding shots in this episode, I noticed. Big cloud of dust. You're gonna get lung issues. Okay, we have a fucking while loop. Magic really is programming. Well, color me green and call me a pickle. It worked. Holy shit, it actually worked. I did not expect it to work. Like, I'm gonna be fully honest with you. That's a lot of animation. Forbidden. Now, question. Is it the spell that created this place? Or is it a spell that keeps it stable? Okay, that's interesting. A magical trap! Damn! Damn, what the fuck is that? Yeah. You don't know that. It's a random fucking magic seal. You've no fucking clue what it does. Richa? Richa has silk shoes. Oh, hello, Qifrey. Right on time. Damn. Oh, shit. That's a big place. And what is that? A glowy light dragon thing? A piss dragon. Qifrey summoned a piss dragon. Or it was just the lighting. That was some strong ass magic, gotta say. Oh. Finally alone with the brim hat. A little bit of tete-a-tete. Probably, yeah. A brim on your hat. I love the music. Did she, like, enter the hat? It kind of looked like that, didn't it? No opening, no ending? Just straight action, huh? Oh, does she have no memory of what happened? I mean, the brim hats did fuck with her, right? But are you though? Uh, Kinda, sorta. Hi. Classic. The hi with the nod. Hmm. Can you restore it? Oh, not quite. Knights Moralis. Knights of Morals. Yes. And the tinnitus simulator. I love it. What's gonna happen? Well, defecation is gonna hit the ventilation. I can tell you that much. A light on a rainy day. Okay, let's watch it again. We're not gonna have to skip the ending or the opening because there fucking weren't any. Okay. Okay. I think in this episode, this show started showing its fangs slowly growing in, you know? Because, um, well, okay, the first thing at the beginning that was arguably dark with Coco, essentially for all we know, right? Killing her own mother. That isn't something out of the ordinary for, any random battle shonen or any random anime, really. Like, we know that anime loves orphans and half orphans. We know that. That's like a well established fact. But usually, anime that starts in some, dark, shocking way usually just kinda evens out, kinda patterns out, right? I'm kinda reminded of the Skeleton Knight in Another World anime. I'm reminded of it because it's getting a second season. It started with scenes. It started kind of like Goblin Slayer, right? With this kind of amount of shock factor immediately straight in your face. But then it kind of became, your regular isekai adventure simulator, more or less. We're getting new party members, we're going on adventures, this kind of deal. And most anime, most stories in general, most anime, most manga, light novels that I've read, at least, that have this sort of beginning, kinda don't deliver on the promise of a story with teeth in the end. This seems to be different. We already had bits and pieces, little hints of teeth being a thing, right? With the brim hats being portrayed as not necessarily evil. With Coco being shown as perhaps having some interest in the dark side, with the fact that she needs to learn forbidden magic to undo the forbidden magic. Like, there's no way around it. We know that forbidden magic is heavily suppressed. Is it for a good reason? Is it for a good cause? Or is it because of someone's ambition? Right? There are things like that, but I think this episode really showed us that this story is going to have teeth. It's going to have teeth, it's going to have claws, and they're gonna be sharp. You probably noticed a cut right now, and that's because I recorded the whole entire discussion section in this mode instead of this one, so you couldn't actually see what I was talking about. I'm going to be posting that also on YouTube as a hidden unlisted video, so if you're interested in what I was talking about originally, but without the visuals, you can also check it out, of course. But right now, with the visuals, I'm just gonna go through it again and make my points again. And now I'm gonna be able to articulate myself better. Certainly. Mm, right. The whole, it's a non-Euclidean space, apparently, which is a favorite of mine. I generally enjoy all sorts of space-time tomfuckery, and Euclidean space, non-Euclidean space is probably one of the like best, most simple examples of space-time tomfuckery. And also initially at the beginning of the episode, I was about to say that why don't they try, escaping this labyrinth by always turning left or always turning right, but if it's non-Euclidean, then that's not gonna help you much. In general, if you're trying to pass some sort of a maze or a labyrinth that doesn't change, right, that remains static, you either always turn left or always turn right on every single intersection, right? Like if there is no path straight right, but there is one straight and one to the left, you go straight. Essentially, the easiest way is to keep your hand, or imagine keeping your hand on one wall only and never letting go. It works when you are dropped at the start of a labyrinth, even if it has loops. If the labyrinth maze has loops and you're dropped in the middle of it, it's not gonna work, because chances are you might be keeping your hand on the loop and constantly looping around some looping section on the labyrinth. If you notice that's happening, just change the hand and start turning the other way. If you ever had issues solving maze puzzles in games or on paper or something like that, just use those rules and you're going to be able to solve any maze, any labyrinth in no time. Well, in more time than knowing the exact path, sure, but without having to, stumble your way around looking for way out. This is nice. I like that that we get a little bit of fun and funny here. If there's one thing that I hate in stories, be it manga or anime or light novels or Western works, it's misery porn. I really don't like the kinds of stories where the point is to make characters miserable. And there is not much to the story except their misery. Some gacha games are kind of at fault for that. Some anime as well, some manga. There's plenty of examples of misery porn, and I really don't like it. And for a moment, I thought that we might be going for something like that in Tetia. I was kind of afraid that we might be. That her clear trauma might be overstaying its welcome, as insensitive as it sounds. But no, thankfully not. Thankfully, it's not going to be like an issue for the next 7 episodes where Tetia is constantly traumatized and constantly avoiding Coco, and Coco wants to make it up to her, but she doesn't know how, and it's a whole fucking drama thing. No, we go immediately from this very serious moment, very serious, very sad, very touching moment of them trying to reconnect, into this bit of fun, right? Have my cloak, and she scoots towards her, and they have funny faces, and they smile a little, and they have a nice heart-to-heart, right? It's good. It's fun. I like it. I like that they work through this sort of drama very quickly. They don't hang on it, because another thing that I really hate in stories is when they hang on to inane drama for too long. Right? Like everybody knows the thing where in a romance show or a rom-com, mostly in like romance/drama kind of show, the main love interest goes to a cafe with someone of the, usually it's the main guy going to a cafe with another girl, and his love interest sees it, and she's like, oh, he's cheating on me, I'm going to cheat on him in revenge, or some other inane idea like that. And it continues for 15 fucking episodes. And then it turns out, oh, the girl I was at the cafe with, well, that's my sister. She came to the city and I wanted to show her around. Fucking hate that shit. So I'm happy that we don't seem to be doing that. Whatever drama there is between characters, it's resolved in a quick and fairly realistic manner by just talking, right? Listen, I didn't mean to do that. Will you forgive me? Yes, of course, I didn't mean to look at you that way either. I'm sorry for that. Are we even? Yes, we are. Cool, cool. Right? And it also immediately changes from Coco um, comforting Tetia into Tetia comforting Coco, and then them comforting each other, which really shows that that bond they have, that friendship that already had a chance to bloom a little bit. And it also shows there was a quote that I can't remember literally, nor can I remember the author, but paraphrasing, uh, it's being able to get, like, every human has base instincts because we are all animals. But what makes us human, what distinguishes humans from animals, is that we can get over those base instincts, right? We can reason ourselves out of them, or we can empathize our way out of them. And it's something like that happening here, where Tetia was scared out of her wits. Tetia was having a bit of a mental breakdown. That's why she looked at Coco with disdain in her eyes, which is, makes sense. Absolutely 100% makes sense. But here, she got over it. Got over that base instincts because the friendship she has with Coco is more important to her, right? Being a good person is more important to her. Bringing smiles to people's faces is more important to her. So she's not going to hang on to her base instincts. Also, there's already someone on AO3 guaranteed. Someone has the AO3 editor where writing a story where Tetia and Coco are hiding inside of this privacy cloud doing unspeakable things. 100%. This show's gonna be a big source of Yuri shipping, especially with Coco being like, "Wah, what are we gonna do on the bed?" And there was that one shot. Where was it? Yeah, there was that one shot a little later on, I think, that kind of vaguely looks like a Cabadon. I'm sorry I looked at you like this was your fault. Yeah, she had every right to do that, and she instinctually did, but it's not who she is as a person. It was her reptile brain working. And it's not like you actually said it. Yeah, I've been doing it longer than you. I'm supposed to protect you. And now it's Coco trying to comfort Tetia again, and they're just comforting each other in a loop. I dreamt of sleeping on a cloud. It's not finished yet. Yeah, so that was her big regret, right? I was so close to figuring out this new cool spell that brings smile to people's faces, and I'm gonna die here, and I'm not gonna do that. Which kind of recontextualizes what I initially thought. I initially thought it's ambition, that she wants to leave some sort of a legacy behind, right? That she maybe was feeling useless at home, and now she kind of is obsessed about leaving some sort of legacy, some sort of legendary spells, etc. But it seems that it's not that. It's not ambition. It's her trying to bring smiles to people's faces. Make spells that are fun and cuddly and make people laugh. Right? How about reality? Yeah. Non-Euclidean space, which is fucky, of course. Any kind of magic needs a casting seal for work. Yeah. I think I saw a casting seal here. Initially, I thought that this seal was something that the Brim had left here for Coco to use as a temptation, right? The hope was maybe that Coco is going to be left with no choice. Like, she exhausted all of her options, she has no idea what to do next, and then she remembers, oh, there was that seal, I don't know what it does, but let me try it. Which drags Coco further towards forbidden magic, because hey, the forbidden spell I used actually helped me, actually saved my life, saved my friends' lives. Maybe forbidden magic ain't as bad as they make it out to be. But now I'm realizing, first of all, uh, this spell is already cast because the circle is complete. So if it was a spell that saves Coco, then they would already be saved because it's already cast. And yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Now, this spell is certainly a trap. It's way up there, easy to notice, easy to see for a reason. If that spell was, if the Brim Hat wanted to imprison them in this pocket dimension forever, this seal could have been drawn inside of a building, or underneath a building, or on the other side of the tower, or on top of the tower, right? In some place that's hard to spot. But no, it's very visible, it's way up there. There's a way to get there on foot, you don't even need to fly to get there. It's on purpose. If dragon's protecting the seal, we need to defeat it. What do you propose? Yeah, I have a plan. We're gonna make a bed, and it's gonna be comfy, and dragon's gonna fall asleep in it. I really thought that this idea is too childish and too infantile to work. I really thought that this will be the moment of clash between the idealistic world that Coco kind of built in her head and the childlike wonder and childlike thinking that everybody besides Agot seemed to share with Coco a little bit, and the harsh reality that sometimes make a cozy bed for a monster's gonna fall asleep is not going to work. That sometimes you're going to have to kill that monster or be killed, right? It's a doggy dog world. I thought we might go even further, even deeper. They get injured. Maybe Agot gets injured, and Coco needs to cast forbidden magic to save her. Right? I really thought we're going in that direction. That this has no chance at all of working. And in the original, no, I think in the afterthought, in after the this segment, in the original recording, I mentioned that I like that this show surprises me. That very often when I consume a story, be it anime or fan fiction or original fiction or manga or whatever, I can more or less tell what's going to happen. There are certain story beats that are usually repeated. There are certain tropes that are usually repeated. If there is a gun in Act 1, it's going to fire in Act 3, kind of deal. Right? And I always appreciate it when the stories prove me wrong. When I expect one thing, but another thing happens. When I expect nothing to happen, but something does. I always appreciate it. And this is a moment like that. By all means, if they wanted to tell a little bit of a darker story, which I have reasons to believe they do, and we're gonna talk about it a little later. That's what would have happened. This is the loss of innocence, so to speak. But no. No, this idea actually fucking worked. Right? And I thought that Coco's naivete here is going to be punished. Coco's childlike wonder. Mr. Dragon hurt himself, and I don't want Mr. Dragon to be in pain. I want to help Mr. Dragon. And Mr. Dragon fucking chomps down on her and kills her. I really thought it's going to be something like that. I even noted it down that Coco's kindness backfires, because I have a feeling it might backfire in the future. Because with this sort of thinking, Coco would be very easy to ambush, to manipulate, to kidnap, right? A brim hat in disguise walks up to her and is like, "Oh, young lady, I see you're a witch. My sink is clogged. Could you come over and unclog my sink, I beg ye?" And Coco's like, "Oh, right, of course I'm going to do it, old lady." And the old lady just fucking casts sleepy spell on Coco and kidnaps her. Right? It's usually the case that in stories that have some underlying darkness, this is another scenario of the type of, loss of innocence. Spells that aren't forbidden are the ones that bring happiness to all. Casting a spell on someone who lost their hand and regrowing that hand seems like it would bring happiness. If not possible to regrow it, casting a spell on the stump to create like a magic hand they can operate and use, that would bring happiness, right? Giving someone a permanent tattoo that leaves that hand permanently, that will make them even happier, right? Something tells me the distinction isn't all that clear, and that the fact that forbidden magic is forbidden is kind of a tautological axiom in a way. Why is forbidden magic forbidden? Because it's evil. Why is it evil? Because it's forbidden, and forbidden things are evil. Why is it forbidden? Because it's forbidden, kinda sort of deal that nobody even questions. It's just, it's just a rule, it's an axiom. Everybody is born with this knowledge in their head. Forbidden magic is forbidden, and nobody questions it. If this works, no one has to get hurt, right? Like, this is another thing that I saw here that led me to believe we might go through loss of innocence here. But no, not at all. And the light shines from behind Coco on everybody here, everybody present. The lightest of magic, the brightest of them all streaming from Coco. This area of this white city in general lends itself well to those contrasty shots, where something is in the shadow, something is in the light, and there's a clear contrast between the light is fairly harsh, casts fairly harsh shadows, and everything around is white, so it's easy to tell what's in the shadow and what's not. Nice fluffy bed, something of substance. What about sand? Right. Initially I thought that it's a waste of paper that Riche is drawing seals on paper instead of drawing them on the wall and exploding and getting a bunch of sand. But then I realized that it would probably summon the dragon if they were to explode a bunch of sand here. And how are they going to transport that sand? So it makes sense that she draws them on slips of paper so that they can plaster them and fire them when they're needed instead of ahead of time. Tetia's gonna think of a spell, and what can Coco do? Nothing really. Nothing at all. There was that one shot here. Where is it, please? Yeah, you're not at a skill level where I can trust you with a spell. I mean, that's just truth. There it is. Right? Dark and light. Coco standing like this, Agat standing like this. And the line separating them in the middle. There is a metric ton of this light versus shadow kind of symbolism in this episode. I think I spotted at least like 2 other instances initially in the original recording. I'm gonna try to spot them in this recording as well. How does she draw such a perfect circle? Yeah, try, commit. Easy. Seems like a very basic thing that Coco should have been taught at the beginning, right? Like when you teach children how to write letters, first you teach them how to hold the pen. Then you give them a paper or a notebook with lines, so they know how to draw. Big letters go through 2 lines. Small letter go in the lower line, right? Very basic rules. You start with that, and then you introduce more complex things like, I don't know, cursive and stuff like that, or technical writing. But something tells me that this is kind of like the XKCD comic about geology comes to mind, where if you are so in the know about something, so entrenched in something and an expert at something, you kind of forget that not everybody knows the basics. Right? I talked a lot, I mentioned loops in programming a couple of times during this episode, and I have no doubt that there are people out there who are like, what the fuck is he talking about? What loops? Programming is like you code, what loops? Right? Which, it's not a slight at them, absolutely not, but I'm just kind of like, well, everybody knows what a fucking for loop is, right? Everybody knows how to increment the iterator. Everybody knows basics like that. I don't need to explain what's a string, what's a pointer. Everybody knows those basics. But no, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. And I think this, try, commit is a part of this expertise that you kind of forget about. And also probably a thing that most mages kind of know by default, right? They see their children see their parents do the try, commit, try, commit, try, commit, and it just kind of comes natural to them. They go to magic school and they already know that they have to do try, commit. Nobody has to teach them that because they absorb that knowledge through osmosis. Coco doesn't. Coco didn't, rather. Which Qifrey should have taken into account, but again, we're entering the expertise paradox, where the more expert you are at something, the harder it is for you to teach the basics. I never gave much thought to that stuff. I'm gonna try it. Yeah. Should I start a fire? A sign of convergence would pack it too hard. And there it is. There's the fire. Fully stable. And Coco didn't even use her favorite implement, that being a piece of rock dipped in ink. Trial and error. Anyone can learn with enough repetition. It really is such a fucking House MD moment, right? House is struggling with some patient's illness. He enters Wilson's office. They talk about bullshit, and Wilson's like, oh, my computer mouse stopped working. I have to get a new one. House suddenly gets an idea, bursts out of the door, bursts into his office, sees Foreman, and is like, he needs mouse bites to live. And it turns out to be true. right? This is this kind of a moment. Repetition. Repetition. Really cool sequences of parkour and a lot of sliding. I also noticed. And I love the flying they do. I really like that Richa is doing the flying in bursts, right? She's not just, doing this and then flying all the way. She's boosting herself a little, boosting again. It's a more controlled flight. I like it. Everybody has their own style. Make the sign to close the rings, and we close them. And another slide. There's been at least like 4 or 5 slides like this throughout the episode, I noticed. It's cool. I like it. I really do. Amazing animation on the writing, the drawing. Amazing music, of course, because, yeah. And there was also that one bit that I kind of missed, I think, with Reach drawing spell. I think it was earlier. Where was it? Come on. Here maybe? Somewhere? No. Anyway, Richa putting her hair behind her ear. That was cool. Like, she's mostly a goofy goober character, but that little bit really showed that she's serious, that she can be serious in a moment like that. So I really, really like that. No, it wasn't here either. Ah, god damn it, I lost it. Regardless. Repetition. Yeah, we just build a self-repeating spell. A loop, as I mentioned. In programming, a loop is a statement that lets you repeat a block of code. You can put a print word hello to screen in a loop that runs for 10 iterations, and it's going to print hello 10 times to the screen. That's the basics of it, essentially. So again, magic is programming, and friendship is magic. Ergo, programming is programming is friendship. To create a cloud of sand, and I really did not think it's going to work. I really thought the dragon's just gonna roar, destroy this whole cloud, and is going to attack them. I really thought this was going to be the loss of innocence moment here. That maybe the childish ideas of ours don't always work, right? Maybe the world isn't as happy-go-lucky as we think it is. Maybe some monsters are just monsters, and some evil is just evil. But no, it worked. It surprised me a lot. The Dragon Disabler Cushion. And Agot is very unhappy about that name because it's the Serpent's Bed of Sand. Sassigot. Dragon looks really happy. It's the first time I've ever made someone happy with a spell. Who'd have thought it bring you sad joy? Yeah, she really wanted to create a spell that makes people and animals, living beings, happy. And she did. She succeeded. Nobody knows what this seal is, but they make the collective decision to wipe it, to destroy it. Coco didn't know what a spell does once. Didn't end up well. But this is a weird-ass spell. Like, the sigil in the middle is unlike anything we've seen. It's not fire, it's not wind, it's not earth, it's not water or ice or whatever was the fourth element. It vaguely looks like a brim hat. It vaguely looks like a brim hat witch, rather. Right? With a bunch of spikes on the hat, but a clear tip and a clear brim and like a cloak, right? It kind of looks like a brim hat witch, which makes me wonder. Symbols of infinity around to make the spell itself last infinite amount of time? Maybe? I don't know. But yeah, for all they know, this spell could be one that keeps this pocket dimension stable. They remove it, and the pocket dimension does the and implodes into an infinitely small point of infinitely large density. And they're kind of sort of fucked because they become a fucking, what's it called, the thing in the middle of a black hole, not anomaly. I forgot. It has a name, but yeah. And it's not a point where you want to be. Brush body smells ink, and I noted that brush body detecting ink is useful again, because something tells me they wouldn't be introducing a spell like that if it was just completely inconsequential. Well, spell. Did I say spell or skill? If I said spell, I meant skill. Brush bodies are drawn to the smell of conjuring ink. I really thought it's some sort of a trap that just the witch, the brim hat left here in case anybody investigates, right? They get hit with this, with purple beam of doom. But no, it's just the pocket dimension opening, and the timing kinda coincided, I guess. It does look like a black hole. It does look like a black hole, and I guess it's leading to the white hole in here. Also, yeah, I thought this alley was paved. I think the opening of this pocket dimension is what destroyed this seal, kind of destroyed the entire pavement, or it's something that happened after as a way to cover the tracks. Maybe. Either possibility is possible. Why didn't you think before breaking the seal? I mean, on one hand, yes. On the other hand, it's not like you would be able to figure out what it does anyway, and this is kind of your only lead, isn't it? The way out is open, and it does kind of look like a white hole, doesn't it? I mean, it's white, so... Not wearing my self shoes. Riche is blinded by her hair, and she has self shoes, but she's not going to follow blind. Tetia didn't do anything either. But thankfully, Qifrey ex machina saved her. We get a really nice action scene. And I love the boots. I love the mechanicalness of them, and that the mechanicalness of them is actually put to use. It's actually used. The fact that you can split your feet and it stops, and then you connect it and it bursts again. Richa does it with her, little boost jumps instead of a continuous flight. But this is another example. He turns around, then connects again, and gets a precise boost in the opposite direction. Lots of thunder in the clouds, and then we get a view from above. Right, Qifrey first drawing the spell on his sleeve, I think, which is very close to... Oh no, it's a piece of fabric, I think, not his sleeve. I thought he's drawing it on his sleeve, thus kinda sorta breaking the taboo of drawing spells on his body. But no, it's just a piece of fabric. And this place is big. It doesn't look like just a small little pocket dimension, like a throwaway, right? It looks like, well, I noted two things about the White City. That we might possibly visit the White City again. First of all, it's too cool of a location to use it only once and discard it. I really think that we might be visiting again, be it through a pocket dimension again, or because it's an actual place. An actual place with history, right? It's not just a randomly created pocket dimension. It is perhaps a remnant of a past civilization. Maybe something along the lines of this was a grand metropolis of witches, and they all were using forbidden magic before it was forbidden, and then the dude who decided forbidden magic is forbidden arrived and killed them all. Or it's a site of a magical experiment where they were experimenting with offensive magic to defeat the, I don't know, the other neighboring nation or something, and it backfired and essentially deleted everybody from reality. And now it's just an empty city, like a gamma burst. Right? Or maybe it is a target of a magical weapon that wiped off completely everybody and everything, and all that's left is white stone. Maybe. I have a feeling that it might be like an actual place, actual relic of the past that's just left here. Big magic. So far, we haven't seen non-forbidden magic have big effects. This is the first time. We see Qifrey summon this golden dragon, piss dragon, whatever you want to call it. I mean, the lighting is yellow, golden, so it's not like the dragon is made of piss, it's made of clear water. It's just the lighting that makes it take this piss gold hue. And a big piss flower. And the dragon is thankfully just unconscious, not dead. Which I kinda expected it to be dead. And it's again me kinda looking for that loss of innocence moment, right? Because maybe sometimes you actually have to kill your opponent. You can't always just Batman knock them out. Sometimes you have to actually put a bullet in their skull, right? And this is that lesson. Like, Qifrey didn't have the time to worry about the well-being of the dragon, he was rescuing you. So all of your attempts at saving the dragon were for naught in the end, right? I thought we might be going somewhere like that, but no. No, the dragon is just passed out. And I think this is the first time Agot saw such awesome magic. Awesome in the like base sense of the word, inspiring awe, right? She's awestruck right now. She didn't know the full potential of magic, I don't think. And here we have this. Naturally, a loss of innocence moment because Coco is unconscious. But it's the first direct interaction Brim Hats have with Coco since she gifted her the book. Or sold it. I waited so long for the seeds I planted to sprout. Planted with the book, and now it's sprouted because she learned magic. And the sphere on the right is probably this pocket dimension because we see the spires poking out, and they are like floating out of space somewhere above it. Really cool effect. How did you like the assignment I gave you? Yeah, this is the pocket dimension that she created. And it really shows the created, we don't know that, but she has control of. She was able to flip it upside down. Because I don't think that they are hanging upside down. The physics don't point towards that. So she flipped the world. I know, I'll give you a gift. And we focus on the hat. This is great. I'll teach you things that Qifrey can't. I love time-space tomfackery, and this counts as time-space tomfackery. I love the music we get here, the tinnitus simulation, the slight like shaky cam, but not shaky as in the world is shaking, shaky as in stress shaking, right? Like when you grab something really hard and your fist starts to shake, right? Or when you're angry and you start shaking. It's this kind of a shake. The world is angry. The world is stressed. Everything here is under stress and breaking at the seams. I love it. And when the day comes, what a day will it be? Thanks for vague posting. Drops? I don't know if those are drops of ink falling down, or is it puffs of smoke she's disappearing in? I think those are puffs of smoke. And then the hat. I thought initially that the brim hat like entered the hat, turned into smoke, and got absorbed into the hat, and she's going to like continue, like she's always going to be besides Coco, maybe whispering in her ear or something like that. But I think this music here, amazing. I think the gift was that Iguin, because that's the name of the brim hat, made it so that Coco's hat is no longer watching her magic. There was that quote that I got kind of hung up on, that the hat watches your magic, which made me think at the time, and I still think so, that there is some sort of magic Stasi, magic Gestapo that has trackers put in everybody's hat and watches if they don't by chance use any forbidden magic. And if they do, they swoop in, take the individual to re-education camp, lobotomize them, put be good, be good, be good, be good, follow the rules, obey, obey, obey in their head, and release them into society again. It's giving me those. It's giving me those dystopian vibes. We all made it back. The stairs, yeah, Coco is confused. I wonder if actually something fucky wacky going on with her mind, with her memory, or is it like actually just she was under so much stress that she just get kind of loopy, kind of spaced out? Maybe, could be either, I guess. This is a great piece of animation. Really portrays the emotion well, the feeling, the realization of what have I done, and trying to smile through the tears, but the smile doesn't work, and you try again and it really doesn't work, but you swallow the tears, you don't cry, just kind of grip your clothes and just kind of sit there. But of course, Qifrey is a good dad. He doesn't mind, he doesn't blame you. Ideas are important to spellcasting as penmanship. Are as important to spellcasting as penmanship. Yeah, they are. Because before you draw a spell, before you cast a spell, you need to know what spell you need to cast. What spell is going to have the desired effect? What spell is going to have the biggest effect? Right? Like with the dragon, Agot was casting fire spells, well, the dragon is immune to fire, so it's not gonna work, probably. So we have to think about something else, and Coco was able to think about something else that surprisingly worked. And then we have this bit. It's awfully late. I need to know what's in the ink. Will you look into it for me? Please don't tell the Knights Moralis about this. Knights Moralis, Knights of Morals, the magic Gestapo that takes you to the re-education camp if you cast forbidden magic, or you get disappeared. That's also possible. And if they're feeling generous, maybe they will leave everybody's memories intact, or maybe they will use forbidden magic to make everybody forget you ever existed. Right? Wouldn't be the first example of a force of good that's so against evil thing X that they resort to using evil thing X themselves? Wouldn't be the first time. But now, this bit. We have an obligation. No, you don't. You have an obligation to me. Not anyone. This is the loss of innocence. But not to the girls in the show. To the viewer. At least to me. This cements, in my mind, the fact that this show has teeth, has claws, and it's going down. Right? This moment right here. Someone as gentle and as understanding as Qifrey, and we got an example just a few seconds before this moment, is very serious and very scary right now. And something tells me that if the what's his name? Noel Noah, the grandpa of Ink, denied and said, I have to report it, something tells me he would be rendered unable to report it. And coincidentally, Qifrey would walk out of the atelier because he had something to deal with. Right? This Qifrey is not someone you fuck with. And the fact that Qifrey is willing to break the rules, tells me there's something more going on. He's already not a part of the witch society in full, right? Like, he lives in an atelier somewhere in the boonies instead of living in the witch stronghold. And even though he's been invited to live there, he is oddly interested in forbidden magic and in the brim hats. There's something going on. And something tells me that Qifrey himself would not put using forbidden magic above him if it was to aid in his goal of, we don't know, of something to do with forbidden magic. Maybe forbidden magic killed his parents, maybe his lover, maybe his daughter, we don't know that. Something happened between him and the brim hats. And something tells me he's not the kind of a man he is the kind of man that would stop at nothing to achieve his goal, whatever it might be. This singular moment, and also a bit of foreshadowing. I wonder what's happening here, or rather, or perhaps what's about to happen. Defecation is going to hit the ventilation. That's what's going to happen. The light goes out and the episode ends. What a cool episode. What a really, really cool and fun episode. I really enjoyed it. It felt like no time passed at all. I keep repeating it, but it keeps holding true that the time just flew by. When the episode was ending, I was still like looking for the opening to play. right? Because, oh, they're doing a bit of a sting before the opening, right? They're doing a bit of the episode before the opening. The opening's gonna start any minute now, and then the ending credits appear. So yeah, it was a great episode that showed us a lot about the characters and showed us a lot about the kind of a story it's going to be. It's going to be a surprising story. It's going to be a non-standard story. It's going to be a story that is light-hearted when you expect it to be dark, and is perhaps dark when you expect it to be light-hearted. And it's a story that won't shy from either. One that will show both the dark and the light. And the next episode title, A Light on a Rainy Day. Something tells me it's a metaphor. And I wonder if the next episode is going to be a bit of a break. Because that's usually kinda how anime goes. We have a mini arc of something high intensity, and the final episode of that arc is way intense, and then the next episode is a bit of a rest, a bit of a slice of life, or maybe the fallout of what happened before, or maybe a preparation for the next arc, and maybe in like the second half of that episode something starts happening. I wonder if we're going to go for something like that here, or is A Light on a Rainy Day more about the rainy day than about the light? Whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to keep the high octane action, or are we actually getting a bit of a respite in that one episode. Now, this show is like how many episodes? Okay, 13. So it's a decent amount, so they don't necessarily have to rush, and they can allow themselves to be the midpoint episode of the season to be that respite. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, this episode showed me that this show, well, I saw hints that this story can have claws and teeth. But this episode really cemented that, in my mind at least. Maybe to someone that moment was earlier, maybe to some people that moment hasn't arrived yet, but to me, this is the episode that did that. It was great. I had a lot of fun and generally a good time with it. But now I need to splice the reaction with the discussion and upload it and render and upload it all so that you can watch a good and proper nice episode. But right now, I think that's gonna be it from me for today. But maybe you guys have something more to add on the topic of this episode, of my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. If so, say so in the comments down below. Again, what did you think of it? No spoilers, please. Spoilers can go to my Discord. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified, subscribe and click the bell to be notified of future videos on the channel. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below. On Patreon you can get access to picture-in-picture versions of every episode I release, and if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing to do so, and it helps the channel a lot. And with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB, Jackwit, AL, Fleur Nightingale, Dr. Watt, Akamancer, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to escape any pocket dimension.